The world of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is built on centuries of bloodshed, alchemy, and hidden conspiracies. But the anime only shows us a single year of this world's history. Today, we're going back centuries before Edward and Alphonse ever drew their first transmutation circle to uncover the true origin of alchemy, the fall of Xerxes, the rise of Amestris, and the events that shaped the entire series. This is the complete timeline behind Fullmetal Alchemist. Our story begins in the ancient desert kingdom of Xerxes. Here, a nameless young slave, identified only as Slave 23, serves a famous alchemist. His quiet life changes forever when his master uses his blood in a forbidden experiment. The result is a strange, conscious shadowy creature sealed inside a flask. A homunculus. This dwarf in the flask is grateful to Slave 23 for giving him life. It gives him the name, von Hohenheim, and teaches him everything it knows, reading, writing, mathematics, science, and alchemy. Thanks to this, Hohenheim's master promotes him from slave to assistant. But the homunculus has a single dream, to escape the flask, without dying. Soon, the king of Xerxes commands the creature to design an immortality ritual, and the preparations begin. After a decade of work, the ritual is ready. A massive transmutation circle has been drawn across the entire nation. The king believes he sits at the center, but the homunculus has manipulated everything. When the ritual begins, the truth is revealed. Hohenheim and the homunculus stand at the real center. In an instant, over 1 million Xerxians have their souls ripped from their bodies. Both Hohenheim and the homunculus are dragged into the Gate of Truth, where they absorb 500,000 souls each. They gain immortality at the cost of an entire nation. When Hohenheim awakens, Xerxes is nothing but ruins. Next he meets a man identical to him, the homunculus, now free, with a human body modeled after Hohenheim. The two immortals part ways, each now a living philosopher's stone. This is where their paths diverge, defining the next 4 centuries. Hohenheim, burdened with the souls of his fallen nation, wandered until he collapses in the desert but is rescued by travelers from Xing. There, he teaches the people his understanding of alchemy. Combined with Xing's own techniques, this gives rise to Alkahestry, a discipline focused on medicine and the flow of life energy. Hohenheim sought knowledge, and eventually, a peaceful life. Meanwhile, the freed homunculus travels west. Around 1550, he found a young, shapeless nation called Amestris and decided to make it his masterpiece. And so the homunculus, hidden from sight, begins shaping it into a weaponized alchemical state. He teaches the people just enough alchemy to serve his purposes, but not enough to threaten him. The creature builds a hidden underground lair beneath the capital and starts controlling the entire country from the shadows. Under his manipulation, Amestris begins conquering its neighbors, growing in size and military strength, until its borders formed a near-perfect circle. For this, in 1558, Amestris launches its first brutal war on a small city-state to the west known as Riviere. Over the next 2 centuries, Amestris evolves into a powerful nation, and the homunculus adopts a new name, Father. Using the Xerxian souls trapped within him, he creates a family of homunculi, each named for a sin, beginning with pride, and over the next few decades, lust, greed, envy, and sloth. Meanwhile, Amestris invades other city-states like Cameron and Wellesley, taking them over as well. Then he had his homunculus sloth dig a massive, circular tunnel system. A new, gargantuan transmutation circle, a job that will take over a century. Father's goal, to repeat the Xerxes ritual on a colossal scale. He would sacrifice all of Amestris to become a perfect being. Father attempts to create a new Gate of Truth, but he completely fails and accidentally creates Gluttony, the 6th homunculus. Father orders him to go to Xerxes and consume the transmutation circle. Inscriptions within the castle remains to erase any evidence of what happened there. Greed defects from the homunculi. He doesn't want to be tied down by Father's orders and goes after the finer things in life, heading to the city of Dublith. A few years later, Amestris goes from invading small city-states to invading large neighboring countries, like the southern country of Urugo. This war would continue for over a century. With each area that Amestris takes over, the country starts to resemble a massive circle. And with sloth slowly chipping away at the ground underneath, Father's plans are beginning to take shape. And now Father needed a king. By 1854, father begins a secret military project to create the perfect ruler. A group of orphan boys undergo brutal training in politics, combat, and strategy. When they reach adulthood, each is injected with a philosopher's stone. Only one survives. Candidate number 12. The survivor becomes the homunculus Wrath, with the ability to age. Taking the name King Bradley, he rises with chilling efficiency through the military ranks. In 1894, he becomes Führer, the absolute ruler of Amestris, and father's perfect puppet leader. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Now let's continue. The stage was almost set. While father builds his nation of war, Hohenheim continues wandering the world, searching for purpose. He eventually settles in Resemble, befriending Pinako Rockbell. Around 1873, Pinako and her husband give birth to a son, Yuri. 22 years later, Hohenheim meets Trisha Elric. They fall in love and get married. For the first time in centuries, Hohenheim knows peace, but the shadow of father is growing. Meanwhile, a young woman, around the age of 18, named Izumi Harnett travels to the northern fortress of Briggs to apprentice under Silver Steiner, a master alchemist. After surviving a brutal month in the wilderness, where she coins her view of the universe and comes up with the one is all is one philosophy, she learns that her teacher was an imposter. Furious but undeterred, she trains herself. She later marries Sig Curtis, and moves to Dublin to start a family, but tragedy strikes when her child is stillborn. Desperate with grief, she attempts human transmutation, meeting truth that tells her she must pay a toll in to bring her child back. The price, parts of her internal organs, leaving her constantly ill and incapable of ever becoming pregnant again. The result, a horrifying failure. This lesson will echo later with the Elric brothers. Speaking of them, in 1899, Trisha gives birth to their first son, Edward Elric. That same year, Yuri Rockbell and his wife, Sarah, have a daughter named Winry. And just 1 year later, the Elrics have their second son, Alphonse. In the early 1900s, Amestris controls the eastern nation of Ishval, but the locals, never content with their new leaders, lashed out against the Amestrian government, and tensions simmer, until 1901. The final trigger for father's plan was the brutal civil war in the region of Ishval, engineered by his homunculus Envy, who disguised as an Amestrian soldier, murders an Ishvalan child. War erupts instantly. Erugo, with their own grudge against Amestris, aid the Ishvalans in their fight. The war spreads over the entire eastern half of Amestris, turning an entire fourth of the country into a war zone. News of the civil war reaches Resemble. Hohenheim realizes that father's creating a nationwide transmutation circle. For this, a massive amount of blood must be shed on each of the country's corners, and Ishval is the second to last one father needs. So Hohenheim leaves his new family behind in Resemble, promising Trisha that he'll find a way to end his immortality so they can die of old age together. The Elric brothers gain an interest in alchemy and begin to practice it, but tragedy strikes in 1904, when a plague breaks out in Amestris and Trisha falls gravely ill. On September 20th of that year, Trisha Elric succumbs to her illness and passes away. The mood in Resemble turns somber, as things get even more heated down in Ishval. In 1908, 7 years after the Civil War began, Führer King Bradley issues Order 3066, ordering Amestrian state alchemists to the front lines to act as human weapons. One of the state alchemists, Solf J. Kimbley, uses a new philosopher's stone created by military researcher Tim Marco, killing innocent Ishvalans, wiping out an entire clan and severely scarring the man that will become Scar. This final order ends the war horrifically. The conflict devastates the entire eastern region. Millions die, and in the chaos, father gets what he wants, another point of bloodshed for his national circle. Amestrian soldiers occupy Ishval, forcing the refugees to escape and spread throughout the rest of the country. As the war ends, Kimbley swallows his philosopher's stone and kills the military leaders who gave it to him, but he eventually gets caught and imprisoned. Dr. Marco feels immense guilt over his creation of the stone, so he goes into hiding. Yuri and Sarah Rockbell are giving Scar medical aid, but he wakes up in a frenzy and kills them. From there, Scar flees Ishval and heads north, making a vow to wipe out all state alchemists as revenge for his brother and his people. Back in Resemble, after their mother's death, her sons, sought to bring her back. A flood brings Izumi Curtis into the Elric's lives. Impressed by Edward and Alphonse's potential, she trains them in alchemy and survival during 6 months. Back in their home they performed the ultimate taboo, human transmutation. It failed catastrophically. Edward lost his leg. Alphonse lost his entire body. Edward sacrifices his right arm to bind Alphonse's soul to a suit of armor, leaving him as a sentient suit of armor, unable to eat, sleep, or feel anything. Roy Mustang and Riza Hawkeye arrive in Resinbol because of the rumors of a great alchemist living there and find out about Edward and their human transmutation attempt. Roy recruits Edward and Winry and Pinako build automail limbs for him, and starts a grueling rehabilitation. This is the beginning of their quest. Edward became the youngest ever state alchemist, the Fullmetal Alchemist. To fix their mistake, on October 3, 1911, the brothers burned down their childhood home and set off to find the Philosopher's Stone. Their journey to regain their bodies would, unknowingly, lead them straight into the heart of Father's 400-year-old conspiracy. The story of Fullmetal Alchemist begins here. After 400 years of manipulation, bloodshed, and sacrifice, everything is finally set in motion, and everything we see in the manga and Brotherhood anime unfolds over just 1 year, from approximately August 1914. The homunculus Lust sets the plot in motion, entrusting renegade state alchemist Isaac McDougall with a Philosopher's Stone to create blood crests around Amestris. However, upon learning the government's true, horrific plans, McDougall turns his fury on King Bradley in a doomed attempt to save the nation. He is defeated by Colonel Mustang, Major Alex Louise Armstrong, and the Elric brothers, and silenced permanently by Bradley himself. Afterward, Mustang sends Edward and Alphonse to meet Sho Tucker, the Sewing Life alchemist. He is a bioalchemist who might help restore their bodies. They meet his daughter Nina and becomes friend with her, but in an act that traumatized the Elric brothers, Tucker transmutes his daughter Nina and her dog Alexander into a chimera, a tragedy that haunts fans to this day. Before Tucker can face justice, Scar appears and seeking revenge for Ishval, kills Tucker and ends Nina's suffering. Then he attacks Edward for being a state alchemist, destroying his automail arm and nearly killing Alphonse before being driven off by Mustang and Armstrong. The brothers head home to reassemble for repairs, but on the way, they meet Dr. Marco, who gives them their first real lead on the Philosopher's Stone. At Central Library, they decode Marco's notes and learn the truth. Philosopher's Stones are made from human souls. But before they can learn more, Lust burns the entire library down, but not before they learn of the mysterious fifth laboratory. Their investigation there brings them face to face with the homunculi Envy and Lust for the first time, who destroy the lab to cover their tracks. Meanwhile, Maze Hughes uncovers the conspiracy behind Amestris's wars and a nationwide transmutation circle. His discovery costs him his life, murdered by Envy. Running out of leads, Edward and Alphonse visit their teacher, Izumi Curtis, in Dublith. Winry joins them, excited to learn at the automail capital of Rush Valley, where she stays to hone her abilities. Izumi tells them something crucial. Hohenheim, their father, knows the truth behind Philosopher's Stones, and the person who knows even more is Alphonse. But his memories of the gate are locked away. While Edward is gone for his annual state alchemist exam, Greed kidnaps Alphonse. In a shocking twist, King Bradley himself helps rescue him, only to deliver Greed to Father to be melted down into a stone. Back in Rush Valley, because Edward breaks his automail again, the boys meet Ling Yao, a prince from Xing searching for immortality and uses his bodyguards to force information out of them. After the scuffle, he forces his way into their group. Back in Central, Maria Ross is framed for Hughes's murder and Ling is arrested for illegal entry. Mustang, knowing Ross is innocent, stages Ross's death to help her escape to Xing, and break Ling out. It draws out the homunculi, leading to a legendary fight where Mustang pushes Lust's stone to its limit and burns her to ash. Back in Reassemble, Edward visits his mother's grave and encounters Hohenheim for the first time. Hohenheim reveals that the creature they brought back wasn't their mother. Edward confirms it by digging up the remains, and realizes that if the dead can't return, Alphonse's real body must still exist somewhere. Their new plan is going beyond the gate and find Alphonse's body. Meanwhile, Scar returns, and meet Mei Chang, a royal princess from Shang who is skilled in alkahestry, who joins him. Now aware of the homunculi's interest in them and of Scar's return, the Elrics bait them out, hoping to lure their enemies into the open. Their objective is to have Scar answer for the deaths of Winry's parents and ask the homunculi why the Elrics are such valuable human sacrifices. Amid the resulting chaos, Mustang learns that King Bradley is the homunculus Wrath, and forces a temporary, shaky alliance with Scar. I didn't know if include the events of the movie or not. I mean, it is canon but only to the anime Brotherhood, and it's weird that in the middle of all this happening the Elrics get sidetracked to Table City. They meet new people, encounter a new Philosopher's Stone called the Sanguine Star, they see the gate again, and just go back to Central, right back into the main plot like nothing happened. It totally breaks the flow of the story for me. Well, after all of that and remembering that Mustang killed Lust, Gluttony, enraged, attacks Mustang, but ends up swallowing Edward, Ling, and Envy. Alphonse convinces Gluttony to lead him to Father's lair. Inside, Edward and Ling escape Gluttony's false gate. Here, Ling accepts the homunculus power of greed and Father merges Greed's stone with Ling, creating a new, conflicted being. With his identity exposed, Bradley takes Winry and Hawkeye hostage. To gain support, the Elrics flee north to Briggs Fortress, led by Major General Olivier Armstrong. Their cover story: they're searching for Mei Chang, who is secretly hiding inside Alphonse's armor, since Father couldn't neutralize her alkahestry. At Briggs, they temporarily defeat Sloth. In Central, Hawkeye uncovers the truth about Salim Bradley. He is Pride, the first homunculus. She warns Mustang with a hidden message. Mustang confronts Envy, who reveals himself as the killer of May's Huge. Enraged, Mustang destroys Envy's Philosopher's Stone, reducing Envy to a small parasitic creature. Back at Briggs, Edward encounters the new Greedling and persuades him to join their cause. Hohenheim returns, confronts Pride, who kills and consumes Gluttony to gain more power and helps plan the final counterattack. Everything is ready for the promised day, Father's 400-year plan. On the promised day, Sloth completes the nationwide transmutation circle. Armstrong and Sig Curtis finally defeat him. Mustang exposes the government's true nature, pushing Envy into despair, leading to his suicide. Father needs 5 sacrifices, 5 people who have seen the gate: Edward, Alphonse, Izumi, and Hohenheim. For the 5th, Wrath forces Mustang into performing human transmutation, blinding him and securing him as the final sacrifice. Father activates the transmutation circle and absorbs the souls of 50 million Amestrians, opening the gate of the planet itself, becoming a godlike being. Father tries to kill everyone, but Hohenheim counters him using his Philosopher's Stone. The Alkahestry reversal plan weakens Father, bringing him back down to a mortal state, giving the heroes a chance to fight him. Pride confronts Edward but is defeated and reduced to a tiny fetus-like form. Father unleashes a final blast. Hohenheim shields the Elrics with his own body. His sacrifice inspires the others. Greed also gives his life, weakening Father from within. Edward loses his automail arm and can't fight. So Alphonse makes the ultimate sacrifice. He gives up his soul to restore Edward's arm. Fueled by grief, Edward unleashes a barrage of blows and punches a hole straight through Father's core. Father is dragged into the gate and erased. To bring Alphonse back, Edward sacrifices his alchemy forever. It works. Alphonse returns in his original body. Hohenheim, his Philosopher's Stone fully spent, dies peacefully at Trisha's grave. Mustang regains his eyesight using a Philosopher's Stone and vows to become a better Führer. Scar sets out to rebuild Ishvalan. Ling becomes Emperor. Edward and Winry eventually marry and have a child. Alphonse and May embark on their own journey together. After everything, the brothers choose a simple, ordinary future, one they fought so hard to earn. That's the story of Fullmetal Alchemist, a century-spanning conspiracy, solved in a single, explosive year. All for the sake of 2 brothers who refuse to give up on each other. So, what's your favorite moment in this epic timeline? Was it the tragedy of Xerxes, the reveal of Bradley, or the ultimate price the Elrics paid? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden history of Fullmetal Alchemist, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know which part of the lore you want explored next. Thanks for watching, and remember, a lesson without pain is meaningless.